because
Ahmed, which country are you based in?
I think we are on live, so we can
Oh,
start.
yes, we are. Good evening and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining me from. Welcome to GYMHA Global Youth Mental Health Awarenesses 13th Mind Matters talk show designed to captivate and stimulate your mind. I am Mahmooda Khan based in Zimbabwe, and I'm joined tonight by GYMHA event coordinator Noor Ahmed. Noor Ahmed, thank you so much for joining me tonight for this conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me over here. And hello, everyone. This is Noor Ahmed, and I'm currently acting as the event coordinator of GYMHA. And apart from that, I have so many roles in around. So yes, over to you, Mahmooda.
Thank you. So tonight, our theme and our topic is around the issue of drugs, which is actually quite a terrible scenario that we're facing in the world. So we'll be tackling how to help somebody who is struggling with addiction. And I know this is a topic that's very relevant worldwide. It's a growing problem right here in Zimbabwe. And while before we jump into that, Noor Ahmed's going to tell us about some of the other roles he plays, because it's really important that we understand that we are dealing with a professional who has the capacity to answer some of the questions that I'm going to be throwing at him today. Noor Ahmed, just tell the audience a little bit about your background.
Oh, well, I am Lion Ambassador Noor Ahmed. Currently, I'm working in international NGO where I'm working at the Humanitarian Crisis Management as a Deputy Manager sub grants. And apart from that, I'm well known about as an international speaker, moderator, educator, SDG ambassador, peace ambassador, and most importantly, I'm the humanitarian activist. And if I'm adding something more, that I'm the Global Lions Charter member. So mainly my motive and my all things are thinking about the human being. How can we contribute all the things, all of our knowledge, all of our asset, all of our contribution to the humankind? There's a more made mission, as well as I would like to flag out and emphasize all the youth in one platform to work together for the human world. Yes,
That's
Mahmoud.
absolutely fantastic. So we are expecting a few other guests. I'm hoping that they will be able to join as the evening progresses. But if not, you're in good hands, because between Noor Ahmed and myself, I'm sure we're going to have quite an enlightening conversation around the issue of drugs and the scourge that is affecting a lot of people, especially our youth. Noor Ahmed, before we jump into it, can you give me a brief synopsis about how you understand this drug problem? And, um, do you have any statistics around it? What have been your observations about what's going on the ground where you are in particular? And if you've got any insights about global happenings?
Well, thank you so much for asking this question because this is the burning issue nowadays. And if I'm considered sort of statistics regarding the drug addiction, I would like to flag out that most of the south part of the Asia, so they are mainly are struggling with their financial problem, financial crisis, now all the things. If I'm focusing that how much the youth are addicted into to drug, and I would like to flag out the mostly the student, mostly the youth who are actually living in the south part of the Asian country, and apart from that, most of the developed country youth also doing and addicting the drug addiction. So if I'm very precisely why it's happening, if my main causes of the drug addiction is happening because of the financial problem for the South Asian part. If I'm focusing on the developing country part, it will increase the actual try to experience some of the addiction, and that's the reason they are addicted to the drug addiction. And not only that, there's a number of things is are there. There's a number of causes are there. If I'm trying to flag out two more about these issues, that would be if I'm focusing that currently the mental health are not practicing practically because most of we are thinking and spending a time for the physical health, and there's a reason we are omitting the mental health for our life, and that is happening because frustration, anxiety, anxious, and some other negative things are happening nowadays because all the competitive world one are showing their all the positive thinking in their social medias, and some of the youth are facing, no, I don't have that kind of opportunity, I don't have that kind of asset, I don't have that kind of things, I don't have the beauty and some other things, I don't have any kinds of knowledge and ideas. So these are the most relevant thing because the social media increases this kind of negative impact, and that also turn into the drug addiction as well. So yes, Mahmouda.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's interesting because I like the way you linked drug abuse to mental health as well. For me, the biggest worry is around you know um, how we can actually get the drugs off the streets, because drug trafficking is a growing problem. But maybe we'll deal with that at some other point. At this stage, I want to ask you, Nur Ahmed. I mean, how do I know when somebody's struggling? What is it? What is it that'll show me that somebody's struggling with drug or substance abuse issue?
Well, there is a number of issues you can easily find out that I would like to flag out those things up precisely because if we find that someone changes their personality and behavior like lack of motivation, irritability, and they are actually very much sensitive, and that also another symptom that anyone and someone having and facing drug addiction. I would like to focus one more thing. This is very common. That is bloodshot eyes and frequent blood nose is also the symptom that someone having the drug addiction or addiction. And when you have addicted for the drug addiction, your body will shake, your hand will shake, even your speech will slatter. Your speech will slatter. That's also the impact of your drug. And another things I would like to flag out that it, it actually focuses at the change of their daily routine and the lack of concern of the personal hygiene. This is another very important things because they're not considering that about their personal health, personal thing, and hygienic life. They're always consider about their addiction, and that also give them peace, their inner peace from that. And of course, then another thing that unusual need of money and financial problem raises if you are addicted. And the last thing, but not the least, I would like to flag out change in friends and activities. If you are addicted, you are actually changes your activities. You are trying to uh, join the team where they are having this kind of addiction lifestyle. So this is the main core things. If I found or you found that someone having those things, you can easily find out this a person having the problem of drug addiction. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Nur Ahmed, for that. I see we're joined now by Muhammad Zubair. Assalamu alaikum. You're joining us from India. And welcome to the conversation. We're talking
Hello.
tonight around how to help somebody who is
Hello.
struggling with
Hello.
addiction.
How are you? Hello.
Very
Hi,
well,
everybody.
thank you. Very well. Thanks for joining us, Muhammad.
It's my pleasure.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you're well placed to discuss this issue of drugs with us tonight?
Sorry, am I audible to you because your voice? How I can someone who is struggling? How I can someone help who is struggling with addiction? You ask me.
Well,
Hello.
yes,
Yeah.
but before you jump into that, maybe tell me a little bit more about yourself. What's your background?
Actually, your voice is not coming. One second.
Okay, my dear brother Jubai, can you hear me?
One second. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes, sir. Hello,
All
Nur.
right. So, brother, yeah, assalamu alaikum, brother. Brother,
Walaikum
actually,
assalam.
Mahmouda actually try to improvise. I mean, try to introduce yourself to the audience. Try to say something about yourself to the audience, please.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to thanks for the organizers for such a interesting event for awareness and sensitization in the society. And nowadays addiction is a big problem among all of us, and we see in our society lots of people are facing this kind of problem, and lots of behavioral changes they face, physical signs we can observe. For example, nowadays when we talk about struggle with addiction, we can say uh, you know we have to recognize the signs of the person, like behavioral changes in their, for example, isolation they face, and sudden changes in social circles, and in hobbies, in interests, neglecting responsibilities they are doing, and engaging risky behaviors they are doing, and physical signs, lots of physical signs. For example, weight loss they have lots of weight loss, or changes in sleep patterns, and poor hygiene, or changes in appearance, and bloodshot eyes, and emotional and psychological aspects also we see. So this is my experience, that because I observe that people are emotionally disturbed, and psychologically they are facing lots of mood swings, irritability, and agitation, and anxiety, depression, paranoia, and lack of motivation in the they are not able to initiate, and financial and legal issues they face, and craving for compulsions, and tolerance, and withdrawal. So we can say, we can observe many things in the society about addiction. So firstly we have to observe behavioral changes, because a person who was once punctual and reliable at work suddenly starts missing deadlines, and calling in sick frequently, or showing up late. So we can observe these things. No, we can notice physical signs. For example, in an individual might have unexplained marks, and indicative of drug use. They might appear usually tired, and sometimes he is hyperactive. So physical symptoms can vary widely depending on the substance or behavior, which kind of substance they are taking. And for instance, someone using stimulants so might exhibit restlessness and rapid speech, and while a person using depressants might appear drowsy or slow. And we also can observe, this is my experience, we can observe monitoring and emotional and psychological symptoms. A person may become usually irritable and anxious, or they might have we can say they might withdraw from social activities. They are not taking part in the events in family, at workplace, and emotional instability can be a key indicator. So frequent mood swings, without a clear cause, can suggest substance dependence. And we can also assess the changes in relationships. you know a person might start avoiding family gatherings uh, uh, with long time friends, or argue more frequently with loved ones. And a normally well individual might start neglecting appearance, wearing the same clothes, and we can say showing signs of poor personal hygiene. Changes in self-care can be a sign of addiction, because especially when the individual is no longer seem to care about their appearance or hygiene. And addiction can strain relationship, as the individual may prioritize their substance use or behavior over personal connections. And listening for justifications or denial. The person might frequently make excuses for their behavior, and denial and minimization are common defense mechanism in addiction. So a person might hide substances in unusual places, avoid answering questions about their whereabouts, or become defensive when asked about their activities. So secretive behaviors often accompany addiction. So we can changes in daily you can observe changes in daily routine and physical health decline and emotional instability. Lots of things you can observe. Yeah, this is my experience about all of these things.
I really like that you came in and you absolutely reinforced everything Nur Ahmad had just said earlier on. I see Joa Safi is now joining us, so this is excellent. The panel is growing. I just want to read a statistic here that I've pulled up. You know, it's off a United Nations site, and it says here that opioids continue to be the main drug that impacts the global burden of disease, whereas cannabis is reported by a large share of countries as the drug of most concern for drug use disorders. So that's just an interesting little bit of statistic there. Nur Ahmed, maybe I can come to you now. Joa Safi, are you able to unmute your microphone and just say hello? I'd like to see if you can hear me. Sorry, Nur Ahmed, I'll come to you just now. Joa Safi, are you able to unmute your microphone? Okay, we'll give her a couple of more minutes to just get her technical side back up. So tell me something between Muhammad and Nur Ahmed. How can I help somebody who's struggling? What do you think the best way to go about helping somebody is? I'll start with you, Nur Ahmed. What do you think?
Well, thank you so much for asking this question. Yes, this is another very important question. So I would like to start with firstly, when we are started to help someone who are struggling with addiction, this is not easy to communicate and jump into the solution because that person can be very sensitive. The reaction can be sensitive. So you have to be emphasized through the educate yourself about the addiction. So if you are educated yourself about the addiction, that means you are well known about the addiction, so that you can connect with that person who are having this problem. So we have to be emphasized on that very firstly. And second one, I would like to show that offer your support. Don't try to share all your yes. I think you should change your life. I think you should do this. I think you should this. Don't do that. You have to offer your support. If that person feel comfortable and welcome you into that situation they are having, that would be a great. So we have to consider that you should share and offer your support that you want to have. So, and then third things I would like to share that encourage them to get a help. Otherwise, those person are not willing to have any kinds of support, any kinds of help, because they have their own world. So you have to encourage them to get the help, because there's a lot of rehab center, there's a lot of consultant, there are mental health consultants also there, psychologists are there. So a lot of things can be happening. But before that, you have to enter the and connect the person. So you have to encourage the person to help to get the help. And another one, you have to well, okay, you have to take care of yourself first, my dear brother and sister. If you are try to help someone who are having and struggling the drug addiction, you have to take care of yourself first, make some resilience of your strength, and try to work for them. And another thing I would like to show that support your loved one in a recovery process. But when a recovery process is ongoing, this is not can be recovered by overnight, right? So we have to support your loved one who have been facing the drug addiction problem. And the lastly, I would like to show that be prepared for the recovery support to be a lifelong process. And of course, after care, you have to emphasize. Otherwise, think about it, for your encouragement, for your support, for all of your dedication. That person already relief for the drug addiction life. And afterward, you want to counseling and communicate that person frequently, but that person communicate with the other friend circle and other friend Joan, where they're having the same problem once again. That can be happening and retain the drug addiction life once again. So you have to keep communicate. You have to keep uh, try to keep themselves and to get sure your update to communicate about their personal thing, and you have to be very comfortable into the life. So I think these five things is very crucial to help drug addicted people. So yes, over to Mahmooda.
Yeah, you know what touched me about what you said there, Nur Ahmed, is that you spoke about support, but the way you put it across, it's come through with a lot of love and almost this idea of not shaming the person who is using these substances. So I think there was a lot to take away from that. Jwasapi, are you with us? Can you hear me? Jwasapi? Hello, Jwasapi? Okay, I can see we're also joined by Ahamba. Stephen, welcome. It's nice to see you again. Can you unmute your microphone?
Hello everyone.
Hi, Stephen. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Good evening from Nigeria.
Great
How are you
stuff.
doing today? Yeah.
Very good. There's a lot of interference coming from your end.
Yes,
Oh,
your
my,
voice is
my
coming.
brother, my brother Amber, can you stop one device
Mute yourself.
and talk at a, actually the lot of sounds come from your mic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Stephen
that two
will come
Yeah,
devices
back.
are
yeah.
on. That's the reason. Stop one device and connect with the other one. That would be great. Otherwise, the sound is like echo and the others. Yeah,
Mama, I
please.
want to back.
Oh, that's much
Only one
better.
device. Okay. Now it's good. Now it's good. I think.
Yeah, it's much better now. Stephen, thanks for joining the conversation. As you know, we're talking about how to help somebody who's struggling with addiction. And what's the situation like in Nigeria where you are around the topic of drugs and drug abuse right now?
Okay. I'm so happy because sorry for joining so late and last thing we are able to discuss something on drug addiction and with Dr. Rania and a lot of things were discussed about the issue of drug addiction. You know, the current case of addiction in Nigeria, based on the National Drug Enforcement Agency record, states that about 14.8 million young people are affected, and is a concern in the country, especially when it comes to our young people. But the rate of addiction has changed and it has increased compared to 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Now it is mostly cannabis that is being hawked on the streets, is being sold even in buses. So the challenge is that it's no longer a small thing, it's no longer a hidden something. So the government is making sure that anyone who is selling or offering cannabis, whether young person, whether elderly person, the person will be unemployed and the person is still in love. So it's actually a very serious challenge in our country, and I think some things have been put in place to make sure that it is going to be resolved. So
Mm,
substance abuse is a serious matter. It's a serious matter. Last 2 weeks we are talking about it, and I will spoke lengthily concerning how we can be able to bring out a solution to help our young people to live all this. Then compared to other countries that have legalized cannabis, example, USA this year legalized the sale and the production of I think cannabis. So and it's also making everyone to have access to it. And the country, nobody is actually trying to see that this is actually the cause problem in our society, and it seems as if everybody is keeping quiet, and
Mm.
things are becoming so compared to Afghanistan when opiates has been restricted. There is a ban in Afghanistan where opiates is not legalized. I mean, it's not circulated unlike before. So it's a social challenge. There are some countries that have put restriction. There are some countries that have not, and
Mm.
it's a challenge for our young people. I think that something needs to be done to make sure that addiction is curtailed and be able to help our young people to come out from this menace. Thank you so
Great.
much. I think we have to put things in order. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks so much,
Yeah.
Stephen, for giving me some tips. Um, you spoke about 14 million people suffering, that
Yes.
are addicted to drugs on your end. I'm just reading a statistic here that says about 296 million people aged between 15 and 64 had used psychoactive drugs in 2021. So, the numbers are just staggering and quite a bit of a concern. Maybe I'm going to come over to you, Muhammad Zubair. Um,
Yes.
what should I do? I think somebody's.
You know, we can do many things. Firstly, in my opinion, because I am working in the field of education and special education, and I am teaching psychology and special education. So lots of strategies we can use. Firstly, in my opinion, educate and sensitize society and about addiction, because recognizing that addiction is a complex problem that affects the brain, leading to compulsive substance, and be aware of different type of addiction, including drugs or alcohol or behavioral addiction. Gambling or gaming is also a addiction, gambling or gaming. So learn about how addiction can alter brain chemistry and function. Secondly, open and honest communication. Gently express your concern without judgment. Use I statements and worried about your health to avoid sounding and practice active listening. For open communication, encourage professional help. Sometimes a person is facing problems, so we have to encourage and take professional help at the early stage. We don't delay. There is no need to delay. So inform them about various treatments options, including therapies and rehab work, or support groups or counseling. Lots of things we can do, and offer to help them, and offer practical help such as providing transportation or availability of staff and professionals, and set boundaries. Clearly define what behavior you will not tolerate, and consistently enforce boundaries while remaining supportive, and show them that you care and are there for them. And even if they aren't ready to seek help, celebrate small victories and positive steps that they can take toward recovery, because encourage healthy activities among them, suggest and participate in healthy activities together, organize such events, exercise, cooking, or nutritious meals or hobbies, and lots of stress management techniques like mindfulness and meditation, yoga, sports, games. Manage health, mental health or stress and emotions in healthy ways. So avoid enabling. Enabling can include providing money, making excuses for their behavior, or covering up their actions, and support their recovery efforts, but refrain and take care of yourself. Consider joining support groups for families and friends of people with addiction. Self-care, prioritize your own mental and emotional health. Be patient and realistic. Recognize that, understand that recovery is a long-term process and may require ongoing support and adjustment. So avoid giving ultimatums unless they are necessary for your safety or well-being, and encourage peer support and community resources, and for these kids or these individuals, inform them about their community resources, such as counseling, such as services, such as therapies, local health clinics, psychologists, neurologists, psychiatrists, and encourage them to build a support network of friends, family, and professionals who care, offer encouragement and accountability, respect their autonomy, and understand co-occurring disorders. And lots of things we can do. Yeah.
Yeah. So much for that, Mohammed Zubair. I'm quite taken because you also speak of it being a lifelong or long-term support that addicts need. But also, I like the way that you touched on the different types of addictions. You didn't just focus on drug addiction. You spoke about gaming addiction. You spoke about gambling addiction. And I think it's also important for the audience to know that, at GYMHA, we are and we do have people that are able to help across the spectrum. So, Noor Ahmed, maybe can we talk a little bit more about other types of addictions? I know in the beginning of this conversation, we mainly focused on drug addiction. Can you give us insight on the other addictions?
All right. Actually, my dear brother Muhammad Jubair already shared such a burning addiction regarding that. So I would like to focus that yes, mainly the south part of the Asia's, they are having the problem of gambling. That is very important. That is my brother shared. So apart from that, currently I don't want to flag out anymore, but I think the Hamba brother also have someone. Mahmooda, you may.
Stephen, do you want to jump in on this one? We're talking about other types of addictions. What have been your observations in Nigeria or Africa, maybe?
I believe you can.
Your sound's quite bad still.
Hello.
Hi, Stephen. I can hear
Can you
you.
hear me? All right.
Yes. No, there's some interference again.
Yeah. The question is what type of addiction, right? Good. There are so many types of addiction that we can find out. An example is social media generation. This thing about Z generation.
Can I just cut you off just there? Nur Ahmed, are you able to hear him clearly? I can't hear him clearly on my end.
Not actually, not actually. I just want to flag out these things. So, my dear brother Stephen, you can actually stop your cameras so that I think the network will be very okay to share your words. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you yeah?
Can you hear me now?
Still the sound is not so good as well.
Yeah. Okay,
Hello?
Stephen, try. Let's try one more time.
So I think Sophia also with us. So Sophia, unmute yourself and try to join with us.
Last week.
Stephen, your mic is still giving interference. Josephine, if you do have a chance, please unmute your microphone. We'd love to hear from you during this conversation.
Stephen, voice is
If
not
you're
clear,
doing-
I think. Yeah, it's not. Lots of noises there at the end of the Stephen.
If you're joining us just now, we're bringing you this Mind Matters talk show designed to captivate and stimulate your mind by GYMHA. The topic we're discussing this evening is how to help somebody who is struggling with addiction. Mohammed Zubair, maybe I can come to you. As a parent, if I suspect my child is using a substance or is addicted to a substance, do you think I have the right to maybe insist on getting a drug test? I know Noor Ahmed spoke about dealing with this with sensitivity and love. But as a parent, when you can see signs do you think it's a good idea to insist on getting a drug test for a child, or yeah, or a teenager or something like that? What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, actually, am I audible? Yes, yes. Am I audible, brother Noor?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
So, yeah, thank you. So, it all depends upon the, as you mentioned earlier, that lots of, drug addictions, it all depends upon the nature of the and level of the addiction. For example, lots of substance addictions, for example, like alcohol or drug addiction or nicotine addiction, or you can say stimulant addiction, hallucinogen, inhalant addiction. Like nowadays in India, students at school level, they inhale substances like glue or paint thinners, in India. So in schools at the elementary or secondary level, the inhalant addiction involves using inhaled substances like glue or paint thinners or psychoactive effect, often causing significant harm. So it, and on the other hand, behavioral addictions, secondly, behavioral addictions like gambling addiction is there, internet addiction is there, sex addiction is there, shopping addiction is there, food addiction is there, exercise addiction is there, video gaming addiction is there, social media platform addiction is there, pornography addiction is there, mixed or less common addictions, for example, love addiction or the lots of other things. So everything depends upon the, the level and the which kind of, addiction he or she has. As a parent, in my opinion, firstly we have to observe the child at the early stage. It is the duty of the parent, because you can observe your child. Secondly, if you feel that your child is is involving in any kind of addiction, firstly try to send, make a good rapport and good connection with him. Firstly, try to understand the reason behind it, why he is taking these kind of things. With the help, is his society is good or not, their friends are taking these kind of things, or he is in stress. So firstly, sensitize him, make a good connection with him, make a good rapport with him, and try to know the reason behind it, and communicate with compassion, with him. Approach with empathy and without judgment, and don't express your concern and willingness to support them, focusing on their well-being rather than the addiction itself. So suggesting, seeking help from a healthcare professional or addiction, firstly try to guide him at the early stage. If you find that the severity is high, then you can visit at the professional level. For example, if his addiction level is very high and very severe, so encourage professional help. In my opinion, it's my, because I am working in the field, because counselors will make a key role, will play a vital role in their life. They will suggest seeking help from a healthcare professional, and offer to help them about resources and support treatment plans, because it's a multidisciplinary approach. Parents and the counselors and the doctors and the teachers, they all work together in the integrated manner. So this might include attending therapy sessions, sometimes counseling, sometimes medication, but it all depends upon the level of the, severity. So recovery from addiction is often a long and non-linear process, because it's not easy, it's very challenging. So be patient as a parent and understanding, offering encouragement and motivation, set boundaries, protect your own well-being, and encourage healthy habits, and uh, and uh, and seek professional guidance, be consistent support, and enjoy and spend quality time with them, because sometimes kids are not you know not happy about their life, about their professional life, about their studies. Sometimes fear of studies. Sometimes they have some disorders. Sometimes he is facing some sort of economical crunch. Sometimes he is facing, some relationship issues. So, build trust as a parent. Build trust and strengthen the relationship firstly. Regularly check in with them, through brief, caring messages or calls, or spend time and encourage healthy routines with them. Balanced diet. As a parent, you can guide them regular exercise, sufficient sleep, and talk with them. On the regular basis. What you have done today in school, what you have done at college, what is your future plan, what are your goals, what are your hobbies, what are your challenges, how do you feel about life. So offer to join them in these activities, such as everything. I would say, so facilitate uh, as a facilitator. Parent play a vital role. They can create a good environment for understanding their behavior, and use empathetic listening techniques. Reflect their feelings by saying, it sounds like you are feeling really overwhelmed right now, so I am here to listen. Share your own feelings and struggles in a way that invites them to open up. So I have been feeling a bit stressed too. How about we talk about and it is a part of life. It's everybody have challenges and stress. So as a parent, you can motivate them, you can increase the self-esteem. But if the condition is severe, definitely we have to go to the counselor or the psychiatrist for further help, for medication, for therapies. Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant. I love that because you kind of spoke around it also being a community or like a holistic approach to how you deal with this. And
Yeah,
yeah,
of
so I
course.
really liked that. Shrasafi, I heard your voice. Are you with us?
Yes, I'm there. Hello, everyone. It's a
Hello,
great
hello,
pleasure to
Sophia.
be with you all.
Ah,
Yeah, I
fantastic.
had
I'm so
a
happy.
network glitch.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
I
so
had a
happy you
network
can.
glitch. That's why.
Okay. So, Shrasafi, I know you're already familiar with the topic we're discussing. So, I want to pose
Yes.
this to the whole panel, but then I'll ask you, Shrasafi, to come in with the first answer. Some people say
Mm.
that addiction is a disease, and others believe that is a choice. What do you think, and why do you think that?
Thank you so much for that great question. Addiction is a choice because, as we know, all, uh, what we want to be comes from our mind, and what we want to be in the future, it depends on our way of searching it and doing it in a correct way. So when you choose a good thing to do in the future, it will be as you wish, but when you choose a bad thing, it will be as you have chosen it. So addiction, it is a choice for mainly for youth, because addiction is a silent killer and a thief of many young lives. It is everyone's responsibility to see and balance the consequence of being addicted with drug or anything or any types of addiction. It is an everyone opportunity to choose very carefully on what he or she wants to adapt in his own life. I can say that being addicted to anything, it depends on the matter of what you are in. Maybe you are struggling with coping on stresses, maybe you are struggling on getting what you want in life, and you see that the best answer of your questions is on abusing a drug or abusing anything else. So it is your everyone learns to choose what to do in a good manner to enhance his or her life for better future. Thank you.
Safi, lovely to always hear your opinion. Stephen, I want to come to you now. Can you say hi? I'm curious to hear if we sorted out your technical glitch at this stage.
Hi, can you hear me?
Ah, better, much, much better. Thank you so much. So,
It's all right.
can I put it to you as well? What's your opinion? Addiction, is it a disease or is it a choice? And why do you think that?
Okay, we say thank you so much for the question. As Sophia has rightly said, addiction is a choice, and It's not something you can just say you force someone into it. Is you have a choice to be either addicted or not to be addicted. So and whenever it comes to addiction, is the human mind that is mostly affected because whichever way, be it social media addiction, be it food addiction, be it dancing addiction, be it whatsoever addiction, is the mind that is mostly disturbed because it has to do with consistent and persistent reoccurrence of patterns that comes into the mind. So just like someone who is learning to do any new behavior, like eating with left hand, you start from practicing it, and from time to time it becomes part of you. As also that is also how it is in addiction. So I think the way forward when it comes to addiction is that individuals who are addicted with substances like television, social media, there are still ways forward they can be able to come out from that kind of addiction. Let's say, for instance, watching movies for a long period of time. Okay, there are so many things individuals can do. You can do on your own time. You cannot actually be, doing other things. You still have time. Time management is important. You know, can you be able to put that time that you are using for watching television on social media for something positive? That's the question you need to ask yourself. You know, use that time for something positive so to be able to bring out, you know, good results at the end of the day and not negative ones that will definitely affect your behavior and your lifestyle. So I think when it comes to this kind of addiction, individuals should be able to know that they can be able to use their time for something positive. So if I should ask this question, what are you doing with your time? Are you using that time for something that is going to affect your mind or something that is going to affect you in the future? So these are the things I am bringing out. Thank you so much. Time management.
Brilliant. And I know what you've just did. The panel is very excited. So I'm crossing over now to Muhammad Zubir. Muhammad, do you want to jump in and tell us what your thoughts are?
Actually, I am working in the field of this field because I am working in the field of psychology. So I would like to add some points. Uh, the previous speakers, yeah, said that addiction is a choice, but in my opinion, addiction is a choice, but sometimes it is not in our control. It's automatic. For example, addiction as a choice and addiction as automatic. Both are different. As a choice means voluntarily we use initial use. Many argue that addiction begins with a conscious choice to use a substance or engage behavior. The initial decision is often influenced by curiosity, social pressure, or desire or pleasure, and they are taking any substance or anything. On the secondly, this perspective emphasize uh, individual's responsibility and the ability to choose whether to continue or stop addictive behavior. So secondly, addiction is automatic as well. Addiction can alter brain chemistry. Lots of genetical problems are there. Lots of disorders are there. Addictions can alter brain chemistry, particularly in areas related to reward and self-control. Changes in neurotransmitters levels such as dopamine can create strong cravings and compulsive behaviors, making it difficult to resist the substance activity. So genetical play the predisposition as well. Some individuals may have a genetical predisposition to addiction, making them more susceptible to developing addictive behaviors. And trauma, mental health disorders, and environmental factors such as obsessive compulsive disorder (OCD). It is not in the control. It is not choice. Nobody want to be a OCD patient. Trauma, mental health disorders, and environmental factors such as can contribute to the development of addiction. So these factors can create automatic responses sometimes. So it is the sum total of both the things. It is integrative perspective, I think. both both are interrelated. Some experts believe that addiction exists on a continuum, where individuals may have varying degree of control over their actions. Addiction is more often seen as a complex interplay of choice, automatic responses of the brain. Initial choices can lead to changes. Yeah, it is good that we can modify the behavior by using therapies and behavioral management techniques, by medication, treatment and recovery, as a multi-phase issue allow for a more compassionate approach. So in my opinion, I would like to say that addiction can be seen as progression from voluntary choice to a more automatic and compulsive behavior, and initial choices often lead to changes in the brain and behavior, making it difficult to exert control over the addiction and understanding the complexity of addiction. This is the way.
Muhammad, thank you so much for that. Absolutely. I was going to ask, I was going to say, can you get addicted if you do it just once? And then you've gone ahead and you've answered that question already. But Nur Ahmed, I know you also wanted to jump in around this issue. So tell me what you're thinking.
All right. So yes, now I would like to make myself with another positive, I mean, opposite side, that definitely in my perception as well as some research information, that addiction now often refers to substance use disorder. This is not a choice. It's a disease of involve the continuous use of one or more substances, even though it may be serious health, even the social consequence. This is not my words. It's also the research information from most medical association, including the American Medical Association, the American Society of Addiction Medicine. They also focus that, like diabetes, cancer, and the heart disease addiction is caused by combination of factors. This addiction also the factor, created the combination of substances factors. This may include the behavioral, psychological, environmental, biological factors. These genes passed by parents may also play a key role. They also can be responsible for the half of a personal risk for the developing of substance use disorder. So in my perception, addiction is a disease. So over to you.
Brilliant. Okay, so it's sparked quite a little bit of debate. So, as our audience, what do you think? Is addiction a choice, or do you think that it is a disease? So, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's see what the audience thinks and what the view is. But we thank Muhammad Zubair for his analysis. Nur Ahmad, brilliantly on point. Shrasafi and Stephen as well, your opinions are just absolutely brilliant. We're coming to the end of our show. I think we've got about 8 minutes left, and we need to move forward. Addictions, like Muhammad Zubair was saying, are quite broad spectrum, and there's many different ways of actually treating them. Do you think it's curable? I know, Nur Ahmad, you spoke earlier on about this could be a lifetime. Might have to offer lifetime support. But do you think there's like treatments that just work? Are there any addictions that can just be sorted out straight away? Or if not, what sort of treatments are being offered for addictions?
Okay, so yes, this is curable. I must say this is curable. Yeah, it's a long process, but it's curable because when you are there is a number of rehab center in our country, even another world as well. So in the rehab center, there is several activities are going on there. If I'm focusing, they actually identify the triggers point. Even they try to make an environment and try to rate the delays to keep down. Even they find some alternatives way of addiction. Even they do some exercise. They try to emphasize some lifestyle changes, try to emphasize the learn how healthy way they can cope with the stress. Not on the rehab center, even some consultant firm also there that you can consult, and even you can talk with them to share why you are actually involved in the drug addiction. Definitely it may cause. It may be definitely our background, definitely our root cause are there. If when you are talking regarding these things to your lovable ones, to the consultant, to the person who feel you feel really reliable, you will get the ultimate environment, ultimate way to make yourself curable about the addiction. And if I would like to flag out that, try to reflect all the positive things into the positive things to your life to recover your the negative things of addiction. Trust me, it's curable. Long time process is, you have to be patient, you have to be uh, closely connected with that person to make them curable. But there is no any kinds of debate out there that this is uncurable. So yes, over to you, Mahmooda.
Thank you so much. That actually gives a lot of hope. Muhammad Zubair spoke earlier about connection. Uh, the that building bonds and building connections between people. And I find, a lot of the time, people who are addicted to certain things, they do tend to do well when they are offered some sort of support system. So, Stephen, I'm going to come to you, and I want to know, in terms of support groups and getting some help on the ground, what sort of places can people go to turn for help? What have you seen in Nigeria? What do you know of about health facilities or support groups or anything around addictions? Where can people go and get help? Please unmute your microphone. You're muted.
Okay, I thank you so much. I believe you can hear me now. So in Nigeria, most especially, we have we have so many organizations, support groups, and NGOs also, who actually look into helping people who are addicted. But then there are so many there are people who don't like to show themselves out as if they need help. So they like to remain within themselves, in their comfort zones. But then we have religious organizations, which I am part of them, that we encourage young people who are suffering from addiction, and be able to counsel them, and even in terms of what we can use, prayer to do. We use prayer to do to help them. Is the one to counsel them in terms of showing them love, empathy, showing them care from our end, supply food for them. If it's to provide a job, just like a little manual job for them. If it's a cause of addiction, it's because of joblessness. So we kind of provide a sense of belonging, sense of help, to be able to let them come out from such addictive behaviors. So there are organizations and the NGOs, that also I have also partnered with, like Home Health Education International organization. Here I was in Abuja, where we moved from one home to the other to be able to look for young people, to seek for their consent, and also to see how we can help them, to provide support. We discuss things in this kind of conversation. One of the things we discuss is the causes of the things that led to the addiction. Most of the young people who are addicted, some of them addicted based on because of hardship, because of things that are not working well around them. So within us, what we do is to make sure that we bring them back to track, and to stop those kind of behavior that will lead them to relapse in those behaviors. So I think that's all that from my end. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And if you don't know where to go, Stephen, if you can just mute your microphone. Great, thanks. So if you don't know where to go, maybe just look online. I know in several countries, there's lots of support groups, lots of rehabilitation centers. There's always campaigns going on in every single country. I know here in Zimbabwe, we've got national campaigns ongoing. We've got communities like War Against Drugs, for example, Wired to Love and Thrive, all these organizations, and not forgetting GYMHA, who just get in touch with us at GYMHA. We'll refer you. We'll be able to get some help to you. You want to speak about your addiction. I'm sure that we can connect you to even places within your own countries if GYMHA can't give you the online help that you need. So if you do need help, simply drop us an email at GYMHA. The address would be jude@gymha.org. That's Jude, JUD, at gymha.org. We're gonna wind up the evening. I'm so happy you stayed with me for our that managed to join in on tonight's episode. Ahmed, closing remarks. What do you have to say? Words of encouragement to anyone who has a loved one dealing with addiction, or maybe some encouragement for somebody who themselves are dealing with addiction. What do you have to say?
Well, the words is very simple, that the world is beautiful. Your life is beautiful. If you are really thinking that shorter addiction make you peaceful feelings, that will be the shorter moment. If you really think that your life is full of happiness, try to be simple. Try to do some exercise. Try to being and connect with the people, because your positive action will bring more happiness in your life, rather than finding a shorter and small portion of your life that actually help your life as well. So don't try to help your life, and try to be you and change your world by your positive atmosphere.
Absolutely fantastic. But before we wind up for the night, I just want to go to the comment section, and I want to thank all the people that have joined us. Anne-Marie McBlanche, you have made quite a few comments here. I love that you were also intrigued by exercise addiction. I too, when it was said, was like, oh, you can be addicted to exercise. And then I thought, some of the things that we do that are positive and we are addicted to, like workaholics, that sort of thing. So thank you so much for joining us, Anne-Marie. Precious Chidiebube says, addiction has advantages and disadvantages. But as a person, you shouldn't allow it to control you, because it is bad. For us to assist, seek support and professional help, recognizing the problem is the first step towards recovery. What a great comment from you, Precious. Precious also comments here that someone may be addicted to reading, but the consequence is mental disorder. Oh my God, Precious, thank you for that one. All in all, it's been a great show tonight. Anne-Marie again says, in less than 1 hour, I have learned a lot about addiction, types of addiction, how to help someone overcome addiction. And I'm so glad this platform gave that to you, Anne-Marie. Thanks a million to you bring this together. We want to thank you as for being able to join in. We thank you for your comments. I thank my panelists, and I especially thank GYMHA and Jude GYMHA for bringing us these Mind Matters talk shows. Tonight we discussed addiction. Join us again for our next edition. Just tune into our social media pages to stay updated on when the next episode will be. Thank you so much. Great job, team. Great job, GYMHA. And say no to drugs and help yourself get off your addictions. Take care wherever you are joining in from, and we'll catch you next time on GYMHA's Mind Matters talk shows. Good night.